Greetings, Newburg friends and family. It's Pastor Steve here with another edition of the Monday Minute for April the 19th of 2021. We're hopefully back on schedule now and glad to be coming to you again here today. And I want to thank you for taking some time to start your week off, hopefully on the right track. A couple of reminders. One is that we're going to be having our online town hall meeting that's going to be on May the 4th. And that's going to be at 7 p.m. via Facebook Live, and we hope that you'll be able to join us then. Yes, there probably will be some Star Wars references, as May the 4th has been considered now for a few years Star Wars Day, but in all seriousness, we are going to have some very important information about future plans, including returning to in-person worship, so please tune in for that. Also, a reminder to mark your calendars that we have a Blessing of the Pets that is going to be coming up on Saturday, May the 15th. Our information and details are available on our webpage at newburgumc.org and also on Facebook and Instagram and our other social media there. So please come and join us. This is going to be a community event that we're going to be holding out on the front lawn here at the church, and an opportunity for us to bless and acknowledge all of God's creatures, and especially those who are nearest and dearest to us as a part of our family. This week marks our third week of being in the Easter season, and we're celebrating on a continuous basis the resurrection and new life. Now, a lot of resurrection stories that we focus on center around the day of, that empty tomb, the stories about Jesus and Mary in the garden, Jesus and encountering the other women at the empty tomb, Jesus in the upper room, and the stories can go on. But for me, one of my favorite resurrection stories comes from the Gospel of Luke. It's one of many additional resurrection stories of encounters with Jesus that oftentimes we tend to overlook, especially as we celebrate that day of Easter on Resurrection Sunday, where we look at the empty tomb. But there's a lot more to resurrection than just that. And that's what I think this story from the Gospel of Luke does, and what the other resurrection stories throughout the other Gospels do as well. See, when we get to the 24th chapter in Luke, in the 13th verse, we get a telling of two disciples, one of whom we're told later on is named Cleopas, who are walking back to the town of Emmaus after everything that had taken place, and they're just trying to unpack what had happened and trying to gain some sort of understanding of what was going on. It's then that Jesus starts walking alongside of them, but they don't recognize him. And they begin talking as Jesus is asking a series of prompting questions about what it was that had taken place. And it was then Jesus who began teaching them about how it was necessary for all of these things to take place, and necessary for the Messiah to suffer and to die, and that he would raise up after 3 days. Finally, when they get to nighttime, they stop for the evening, and they sit down and they have a meal. And it was only then, when Jesus says the blessing and breaks the bread, that the disciples actually recognized they were walking with Jesus the whole time. And they even say, "Were not our hearts burning within us as he was opening up the scriptures to us?" Jesus was right there. He could feel it. They both could feel it. But even then, they still couldn't recognize him right away. Now, I like this passage for a lot of reasons, mainly because I think it's a pretty common way that we can talk about faith and belief, and it's probably how most people encounter faith and belief in their lives. Now, there are many other Christians that talk about faith and having that conversion experience, where they can name the date, place, and time, and that is when they first accepted Christ in their hearts and became a Christian. Personally, I'm not one of those people. I am one of those who was raised in the church and has taken a long journey, knowing and learning and growing more each and every time that I did so. But That's not to say that those type of conversion experiences are invalid. Not at all. Personally, again, I'm a little leery of them because a lot of those times when you hear about conversions, and I've seen them with a lot of my friends, it's because they're coerced, either at some sort of event, whether it was a youth event or some big Christian concert or other Bible event, or even a worship service. Many people are just following along with the crowd. But if you are one of those people who has had one of those genuine conversion experiences, God bless you. And I hope that you continue to walk along that journey. But my problem is not even conversion experiences themselves, but it's that Christians, some of which are like those other folks, they make it seem like in order to be a true Christian, everyone has to have a Damascus Road experience like the Apostle Paul, where they get knocked down and blinded, and that's when they become a follower of Jesus in order to, quote unquote, be saved. But really, I think many of us, myself included, identify with this resurrection account in Luke, because I think it's where most people actually meet Jesus, walking along the road of life, walking with expectations and hopes and dreams which don't always work out the way that we thought they would or the way that we had planned for them to work out. And we're left wondering sometimes, what does all of this mean? Is there a God? Is Jesus real? What is the meaning of life? But that's exactly when Jesus meets us, walking alongside with us, helping us to understand things differently, to give us a bigger perspective, and to give us more than what we thought things could actually be. Many don't recognize it at first, but eventually they do. And when they can understand things in a new way, we can all see how Jesus was walking with us all along. This season of Easter is a journey towards making the resurrection more real for all of us. And I think the goal for us should be to gain a new way to see Jesus and to open ourselves up to encountering Jesus along the roads that we travel. But there's something more. It's an opportunity for us to continue that walk and to share in that journey, where we grow in the knowledge and the love of Christ more and more each and every day. We can then share that with others. And the good news is that we don't have to have all of the knowledge or even the right words to say. Jesus had all of that for Cleopas and the other disciple, but even then, they still couldn't recognize him. It was in the simple act of when he sat down with them to share a meal and broke bread that they actually knew who he was and that he was with them, even though they could feel it all along. So let's take this Easter season to walk with people and to show them the love of Christ by what it is that we say and also through what we do. Have a blessed week. Stay safe out there, and as soon as you're able, I encourage you to get vaccinated. And we'll look forward to seeing you back here next time for another edition of the Monday Minute.